with nobody, probably just 1 or 2 people manning them. It's only in Nigeria that you hear that people will go and intercept pipelines. It's unheard of. I think a kind of reorientation is also needed in the psyche of the citizens we call Nigerians. That is not how you demonstrate or present your aggression. And like he rightly said, if at the end of the day you come, that raw material is still not coming to meet you to refine, then the whole exercise will be in shambles. That one, we mustn't express our aggression or demonstrate that we are in poverty by going to destroy these pipelines. If we try to do that, then I'm telling you, years and years to come, generation and generations to come, we will not develop this industry, and the riches we are thinking we are going to have by breaking these pipelines and stealing will never be seen.
Okay, as we bring this to a close then, let me ask Honorable Peterside, in terms of what we have regarding the scarcity of petroleum today in Nigeria, what are the questions being asked by the honorable members of the House of Representatives? Or are you not asking the Minister of Petroleum and the Department of Petroleum and NNPC, why do we have this scarcity? We've asked the question a number of times. We've not secured any answers. Maybe the honorable members have been able to get answers and you've not just communicated that to us yet.
Thank you very much. If you recall, just last week, the House at plenary looked at the issue of scarcity of petroleum products and empaneled its Committee on Petroleum Resources downstream to investigate the immediate and remote cause of the scarcity of products and report back to the House. We have laid our report back to the House. I'll start from the contribution of Bala and Yomi at various points regarding the issue of downstream infrastructure. Then I will address the entire stream of scarcity of products. Like every other Nigerian problem, we have a problem with planning. When we manage to plan, we plan based on wrong assumptions. And once we plan based on wrong assumptions, we get a wrong result. And when we get a wrong result, very often we don't even implement those plans. And of course, it becomes a cyclic problem. Our problems keep revolving. Now, on the issue of petroleum scarcity, the first major challenge we have is the fact that to date, we've not been able to make a proper estimate, a realistic estimate of the volume of products Nigerians consume on a daily basis. An estimate. We don't have that, and that has affected our planning. And because it has affected our planning, in terms of budgeting, the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and other responsible parties had come to the National Assembly asking that we vote 88 billion, the sum of 88 billion for subsidy in the year 2012, on the year under consideration, out of which only 306 billion was set aside for PMS, or what you call petrol, or fuel, or gas. That is grossly inadequate. Now, that has forced PPPRA, the agency with responsibility for granting of license to import, that has forced their hands. They are giving out only quantity that amount, 306 billion, can support in terms of subsidy payment. That is the first major challenge. So we are not importing enough products to go around the country, enough products to satisfy our domestic consumption. Related to that is the fact that there is so much leakages, that most products that find their way into the country escapes to neighboring countries. Of course, they make more money. The second major challenge is the distribution network. As we speak, a system called System 2B, which is the hub of distribution in Lagos, serves Lagos, Mosimi, Ilorin, Ore, and the whole of that. That system is down currently. It's being vandalized. And because it's been vandalized, we are now forced to truck our products. And of course, considering that you're going to truck products to 160 million Nigerians, you don't expect much. That is another challenge. Now, the other challenge is the issue of performance of those that have been given import licenses. Again, that's related to the banks. Now, I take a case of fourth quarter actually. Now, 37 licenses were issued in the fourth quarter for people to bring in products into the country. As I speak to you, only 19 performed. The others could not access credit and in their various banks. The reason is simple. The several probes have eroded, not just the probes, the result of the several probes have eroded confidence in the banks, and so banks are not funding. Aside from the fact that banks are not funding, because a few among them had applied those funds that were given to them, the facility, for other purposes other than what it was intended for, what it's meant for, banks don't have confidence again to give credit. And so, whereas we gave 37 licenses to import, PPRA gave 37 licenses to import, only 19 could perform, the others could not access credit. Even those who imported products. Now, because we are applying extra cautionary measures, they've not been paid. Many of them have not been paid. The minister has consistently denied that. She was invited to appear before the committee. She did not appear before the committee, and she did not send any apology. We are taking up that with the leadership of the House. And so, a couple of factors combined together to lead to the scarcity. And we had predicted that this scarcity of products will be with us for a very long time. Because each time we create a gap, of course, we extend the period of scarcity. I see this scarcity lasting till first quarter, the whole of first quarter of next year, if nothing drastic is done. And like I said earlier, one of the reasons is the fact that we didn't plan enough to get enough products in for our people. The other one, banks are not giving credit. Now the infrastructure facility is not enough to support our needs. Of course, I don't want to talk about corruption that is endemic in the sector. And I don't want to talk about gross inefficiency. And of course, there are too many probes that are not being concluded. Several probes that are not being concluded. An issue like Federal Minister of Finance holding back funds due companies that are under investigation, I don't think that's right. They are not a court of law. If companies are under investigation, please pay them their money, go to court, and of course get relevant court orders to stop them. There are a combination of factors that has led us to this scarcity, and I see it continuing for a very long time unless something drastic is done. As for whether we ask questions, I can tell you that in the next 1 week, the House will be inviting relevant persons or persons that have responsibility for the downstream sector or responsibility for what's going on to answer pertinent questions. That, I can assure you, will be done any moment from now.
Okay.
As you already know,
Yes.
the interest of the Nigerian people is at the center of the activities of the 7th National Assembly, especially the House of Representatives. I am convinced, I am persuaded to believe that we are determined, we are committed, we are honest about this issue. And of course, fuel is where, or petroleum motor spirit is where it touches on the people. Touches on the people. Many of our people have not seen what crude looks like before. They don't know about crude other than the fact that it earns revenue for the country. But on daily basis, we use PMS. On daily basis, we use kerosene and gas. And so anything that happens to that part of the industry, of course, affects everybody. And so we're determined to tackle it.
Okay, thank you very much. We really appreciate the points you have raised, and we are sure that the Minister of Petroleum, if she's not watching, some of her PR people are watching, and they'll be telling her that the House of Rep saying that she's being invited. She's not responded to that. Honorable Dakuku Peterside, the chairman of House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, thank you very much. On that note, we will have to wrap up this segment of the program. I want to say thank you as well to Mr. Yomi Orenuga, petroleum engineer and lawyer, and Mr. Bala Zaka, who is petroleum expert and accountant, who's featured on the program this morning. Thank you very much. Sunrise is not going away. We're just taking a short break, and we will be back shortly.